Big spider. Big spider. Ugh. Good morning. All right, ready when you guys are. No one wants to sit today?
Apparently we're not allowed to.
Okay.
Joe, what's your anticipation of for day one? I know you've had a lot of day ones, but I guess this is another one. What's your anticipation level for the first camp as head coach?
I mean, look, as we get to play football, it's been like 6 weeks is a long time, and it was really good to be able to obviously spend time with the family, and you get your mind away mentally, physically, emotionally. But yeah, I'm excited. It's a beautiful day. We get to play football, so I'm good to go.
How do you figure out the balancing act of when to push the team harder and through stuff and pull back the reins a little bit, being this your first time as a head coach?
Yeah, I think you have there's a mentality that I want us to play with, and look like I think this is perfect, right? It's the first day, 8:30 practice, raining. Like that's what I want. Like this has got to be a tough camp, right? And you get a pulse of the team and where you want it to be, come certain levels of camp, but like you want it to be hard, right? Like this isn't supposed to be just fun. Like, oh, we're fun. We're going to training camp. Like we want to push it. We want the guys to feel some type of way, and I'm excited for us to figure that out and learn and go through it all.
Joe, can you give us some injury updates, guys who are not going to be able to practice, that type of thing? Like anybody coming off surgeries or whatever is going on medically?
Yeah, so obviously Tyrell Shavers is pup, right? So he's the only one that won't be out there today, and just there'll be some guys that are still on a limited rep count or a limited. You guys will see it kind of all. Some guys that are just going through some certain levels of indie as we kind of ramp up period, because everything we've been doing, the intentionality going through off season, is getting to a point when guys are ready to go when they're ready to go, and so. But we should be full go, and I'm excited for it. Yeah, so Shave's only one on pup.
Joe, along the lines of what Josh asked about how do you make place it's your first year. All first year coaches place their stamp on the team. How do you go about doing so? And I don't want to use this as an example of calling out CJ Gardner-Johnson, but yesterday there was something that came out on social media where you advised him to not live stream in locker rooms or in training rooms. It was just politely you asked him to do that.
Yeah.
How do you get that message across, and how do you place your stamp on this team in that way? Because you are a new coach and it's different than Sean.
Yeah, I'm just being myself, right? Like I'm not trying to be anybody that's all I know, right? And there's this is year one for everybody. Like I told the team, like we've never been here before, right? There is no like, oh, you know what training camp's like, or that's when you fall back into the assumption of like, oh, okay, you start thinking like we've always thought, right? And so, but I can't be anybody that I'm not, right? I'm going to act the certain way. There's standards, and there's a personnel that I want us to be about, and that's what we handle in team meetings. And if I see things that is not the standard or living up to it or is getting in the way of it, then I'll address it. But something like that was not an issue. That was not a concern, right? But yeah, no, I'm comfortable in who I am, and I can't try to be anybody that I'm not.
Joe, what's the thought behind earlier practices than we've seen in years past?
Being able to just maximize the full day, right? We get a certain amount of time constraints, and I don't want to have dinner any later, right? But I want to be able to, make sure we're getting as much meeting time. And I think there's a mindset and a personality of like, let's wake up and let's go. Like we say all the time, right? And fortunately, we got Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills, right? We play every day of the week, time of the day, and so I think it's just a mentality and an approach to like, let's wake up, let's put the ball down, let's go.
Joe, we saw Michael Hoyt ramp it up at minicamp. How did he come through out of that through the little summer break and now?
Yeah, he's another one of those guys that, like Sal was saying, was asking about that. He's going to be out there today taking team reps, and it's all a process, right? Like, again, there's a ramp up period to training camp, right? Like every guy's going to come off the field, including myself, probably including all of you guys. That's like, man, that was it. There's only so much we're allowed to do based off of some of the time constraints, right? And so I hope that the tempo in which we practice and, but we're working towards something. So, you might look at reps today and be like, oh, this person only got this many reps. It's just a product of some of the team periods. But a guy like Hoyt, he did an incredible job with his rehab. Some of it is always just holding him back from himself, right? Like if it was up to him, he'd take every single rep today. But he's going to be out there in team, and I'm excited to see him just continue to progress. Yeah, you want, look, I like coming away to camp because there's that there's that focus that where it's like, hey man, there's a lot of things going outside of football, but man, for the guys, like we're in this all together, and we focus on the football and the connection piece. And I know it's one of those things a lot of people don't put a lot of attention and focus on. It's like, man, this is such a grown man sport, but the connection piece is so critical, and making sure that we're being really intentional about how we go about that. And when the guys have time together, right, or are they just being with themselves? They obviously got to make sure they're in the playbook, but are they hanging with each other, growing with each other? And so that because when you get back to Buffalo, sometimes it's natural, right? Your work day's over and you're going back home because you got a wife and kids and family that you gotta. We're here, man. You're back with the guys, and so I think that's so important. And you want to establish a mentality that we're kind of working towards, right? And you can say all you want as a coach, right? Like you can talk till you're blue in the face, but when the guys take the ownership and really believe in who you're going to be, that's when I think it comes to life. And so I think training camp is where you kind of are convicted on that.
Joe, why only 2 weeks of that instead of 3 as it's been the last few years?
Look, I think we're going back to the stadium, right? And so I think there's something to me wanting to get into a mindset and an approach of like, hey, what are these game weeks going to look like, right? Like we come back, we have the red blue, we come back, we're in a routine of it's not necessarily going to be a game week, right? But we have that preseason game and just getting the guys back into the routine of like, hey, what this is going to be looking like. It's still training camp schedule. There's no difference with it. If anything, the biggest thing is, we have less off days now while we're here, right? So, it's going to be a consistent, hey, every single day we're kind of be working with football. But I love getting away, but I also want to make sure there's a lot of different nuances this year with regards to us getting back into the stadium and just getting to that flow of, hey, the first time we're not there isn't the preseason game, that type of thing.
How did you and Jim feel about the progress the defense made in the spring, and what's the anticipation like to see just how the scheme gets installed, how that group comes together over the next several weeks?
Yeah, I thought like it's anytime same thing offensively, right? Where you go through the offseason and you're experimenting with things, seeing what guys can handle, learning your personnel. You're throwing a lot at them, and we did that, and I was excited for that. And we have such versatile pieces that's going to allow us to continue to expand on that. And then you get away, right? And you kind of you do some self scouting, like, okay, hey, do we continue to need that? Do we need this? And what is that going to look like? And then we're going to get in. So we trimmed our menu a little bit. Then we get into training camp and kind of fine tune. And once pads come on, you're really going to get a feel of some of the technique. Like it's really hard to evaluate, technique from a D-line, offensive line standpoint without pads, right? And so that'll be such a critical component come next week when the pads come on. But like the personality that obviously Jim has and the defense and the buy-in that they have. But again, right now, it's once the pads come on, we'll really see it come to play.
Joe, what is it about the wing that you love? You talked about it. A crappy day like this,
who says it's a crappy day, right? Like it's football, right? Like there's never a bad day to play football, right? Is it crappy when it snows, right? We play in Buffalo, right? Rains, sun, like we don't care, right? Just put the ball down, let's go play. And so I think this is awesome. Like obviously if it's lightning, we're not going to be out there, but if it's raining, cool, let's go. Let's see who can respond and who can go through the good and the bad, and it can, who mentally weather got to me, and hey, there's going to be a bad play. Can you put the ball down and go do it again? So I think it's perfect.
Joe, in the cycle of a football team, there are some camps where there's more competition in different positions than others. Where would you put this camp kind of in that spectrum?
I mean, it's in terms of like, it's
number of jobs that are up.
I almost cursed right there. I mean, when I had my end of the offseason meetings with every player, like a lot of guys want to talk about something like go take it, like go take the job. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's certain obviously people but like I don't care how much money you make, I don't care how many years you left here on the contract. Like I want a competitive football team, and so it's important that like we're going to give everybody all these opportunities, right? But we're in the opportunity right now in training camp, or go take the job. Like if you want to earn it, but nothing's going to be handed to the guys, right? And I know Josh Allen is the best football player in the world, right? But like I want Josh to come out here with a mindset like I'm going to come out here and absolutely dominate the defense, right? Like it's just the personality I want us to kind of play with, and so yeah, I want that competition, through and through, and I have no issues telling guys like go take his job, So it's I'm excited for it.
Joe, I know you're a pretty organic guy to talk to you, but did you think about what you wanted to say your first ever meeting in front of the team when you got here to get them ready for the season? Like that's a big moment for you as a first-time head coach.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of what you believe in, right? Look, a lot of it is honest. You spend time, you're 6 weeks away, but you don't want to assume anything, right? Like the way that we built our program was you kind of hit phase 1, phase 2, and you install like things that you believe in, and both schematically and you just personality and mentality, and then you hit it again, OTAs, and you just don't take it for granted that you go away for 6 weeks and you think you can just go from mandatory minicamp 3 to training camp 1 and like, oh, cool, the guys remember everything, like even for coaches, right? And so we start back over, right? Like, and so that first meeting was just the mindset of like I said to you guys, like we've never been here before, you know, and this training camp is going to be different than we've ever had. And that's not to say anything we've ever done was wrong. It's just I need the guys to understand that approach, and we can't assume anything. And so just over communicating and just starting from that, and the same thing with the connection, the competition, making sure the way that we're conditioning. And so yeah, you obviously plan your meetings, but you got to be organically and understanding the pulse where the guys are. And you know, obviously I had a lot of fun being back with the guys.
You know where expectations are about this team perennially. You've been here long enough. You even talked about I don't shy away from expectations when you took the job. What are your expectations going into camp right now? Where are these in regards to this team and where it can go?
Yeah, look, right now, all I focus on right now is today. I know it's the coach and the cliche, right? It's coach speak, but like, let's go dominate today. Like, we can talk about what we want to do and the expectation of our football team, but we haven't done a damn thing. You know what I mean? Like, what I don't want is like, well, we know we have a good offense, or you know, man, we know we don't know anything, right? We haven't earned a damn thing, and so want to make sure that everybody understands like we'll be the football team we're going to be, but it's going to be based upon the way that we practice, the way that you know that our mindset is, how we approach every single day. And so we can say, hey, we need to go win a Super Bowl this year, but what does this practice look like today? What is our mentality today? Because it has to be just as important. Our mindset can't change once we get to the playoffs, because we're not given that.
This was a really long stretch. You talked about how important these like 6 weeks were going to be, but did it feel longer to you? Like, what was it kind of like from your perspective waiting for camp to start?
It was. I'm not gonna lie. It was great for me, right? I got to be a dad, right? I got to be a husband, and so that was really good. I tried to be intentional about giving my coaches space and the staff space of, you know, they're gonna get hear from me every single day and get tired of me. So I thought that was good. Probably you guys good not hearing from me as well, but no, it was, you get that itch on the way to come back, right? And it's like, okay, it's football, and look, it's tough. You drive down the road, like we're all human, right? We're all away from our families, and obviously, you know, I'm away from my kids and my wife, and there's nothing that we can do that's going to make that worth it. Like, you're being away from your family, but like, let's make sure that, you know, what we do is meaningful, and you know, and so the 6 weeks was tough, but I'm ready for football again, and I needed it.
You mentioned the expectations, and it's like Super Bowl is it's not unspoken, it is spoken. It's out there, Las Vegas, the media, probably in your locker room. How do you handle that one day at a time? That is the vision. You do want to win the Super Bowl. Here as a first-time head coach, that you kind of you have that expectation that most first-year coaches don't have to face.
Yeah, I mean, there's 32 NFL teams, and every head coach is facing the same challenges, right? Like, every team showed up yesterday saying, man, let's go try to win the Super Bowl, right? Like, but that's human nature, but it's like, what are we going to do to actually get to that point, right? And we're so far removed from it, and that's where a lot of times people talk about, oh, when we get to the playoffs, or when we do, like that. None of that is, yes, there's expectations. I don't believe anybody rises to low expectations, but none of that matters right now. It's about the work that we're going to put in to get to that point, and the guys understanding that, hey, is what we're doing today, you know, to the standard that we're going to look at. And if we continue to stack those days and we continue to play with the mentality and the personality that I expect us to do, then we can get to those points. But we're so far from that, and today's just the first step of us being able to showcase what that looks like. And there's going to be bad, right? Like, I want there to be mistakes today. Like, that allows us to be able to coach off of it. So there's going to be stuff like, man, that's sloppy, but it's good. It's great from the team meetings, great for the unit meetings to be able to showcase, you know, what that looks like and how we can, you know, clean up the standard.
Do you feel like you have a grace period, though, that, you know, that most first-year coaches, there's a runway, and now you're set right in there. You're about, in the grand scheme of things, and where the organizational arc is.
Yeah, I like to think that there's not a head coach in the league that buys into a grace period, right? Like, that's not how our brains are wired and think. I know that's not, and I can't speak for everybody, but that's not how my brain is wired. Like, I said that in my first press conference. Like, I understand what comes with this job, but that's what I wanted, right? Like, I want the guys to understand that that comes with it. I have no pressure. I don't feel any pressure. And that's not in a negative way, but I wake up, I work, I try to do the best job, the best I can do, and get my guys and put them in the best position to have success and let it go from there. But yeah, I don't think we're wired in a way to be like, you know what, we have a grace period, whether we do or whether we don't.
Dalton, we talk so much about him getting his body ready, getting as strong as he can in the knee. Where is he at entering camp? How good do you feel about where he's at physically?
Yeah, you guys look like the weather's getting to you guys a little bit, huh? All right, we got to get the personality of our beat, But yeah, we got bigger tent, Boyko. No, I think Dalton, man, he had such a great offseason, right? And it's he had a great, in the conditioning test yesterday, absolutely knocked it out of the park, right? And we wanted to challenge the guys with it, but in a great place, excited for him to go through training camp, and you guys know how impactful he is on our football team.
Coach Brady, how do you describe your coaching style? How would you describe your head coaching style?
Yeah, look, I try to be authentic, right? Like, I think there's growing up, everybody always used to talk about, like, there's an old school coach and there's a player's coach, and I have no clue what that means, right? Like, an old school coach means it's like everything's black and white and it's my way or the highway, and then the player's coach, sometimes it gets the, sometimes people talk about it like you're a pushover, like the players just run the show. And I believe the best coaches can hit both spectrums, right? Like, just because I'm empathetic doesn't mean I'm weak, right? And I think in order for you to be able to relate to your players, you have to be empathetic and understand what pushes them and drives them. But I'm going to be myself, right? And I might not necessarily show energy with you guys and personality with you guys, but the guys know who I am, and I feel comfortable in that. And that's going to be my coaching style.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Good.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Joe.